student will be busy, like all the teal thing, that's for them to do. They need to get a college calendar. It's so important for them to be so organized. The deadlines. I mean, this is the saddest thing, I've had, even in the two classes the senior classes, a student miss a deadline. I had 2 students miss a deadline to apply to a school. I mean, things like, I don't know why they do this, but like Eastern Standard Time and Pacific, like here, they're like, I tried to send it off. What happened? It's like, oh, well, they do it by Eastern Standard Time. Don't wait till the last minute. But they miss deadlines, or back then when they used to do it by mailing, they send it off, wrong date. And they go, but they took the money. I'm like, yes, they took your money, but they didn't. Your application is not even in the consideration for our process.
In the summer, you have some kind of
program. So yes, program. So I'll talk about that too. And then we want them in summertime to really start to finalize their college list, to make certain, because as you start to check out the college applications will be then released in a lot of the schools. Hopefully they'll remain the same, and if not, little changes here and there to look at it. They should read all instructions from cover to cover. It's really important. Simple things that a lot of schools now, for private schools, they use a Common App. But at the same time, there are supplemental forms that each of the private schools might have. So it's important that the student checks is there any supplemental form? Sometimes, yes, there's a Common App question, but there's supplemental questions that the student needs to also fill out too. So all those things, make certain everything, they just follow directions too. They should be working on their personal statements, work on their resume activity list, and then strategize whom to ask letters or recommendation from. That's very important. And this is only for private school things. And this is important because, when I first started serving as a grade level advisor, I just thought, yeah, if a student is, artistically inclined, why don't you ask someone from the art classes and someone from the humanities classes to attest to that person's strength? But an application is a whole picture. Let's say you get 10 things to say about your student. You don't want those 10 things to be redundant about your student. So it doesn't make sense like you just took all the strong classes in art, and you just have the art teacher write letter of recommendation. Then your personal statements about art and art and art and art. You don't need to repeat the same story over again in different lenses. So what I did was, since I've had I think the privilege is to be able to work with 2 classes, the students who got into the schools that they wanted to, I then went back to those students and I asked them, can I have your personal statements? Can I ask you who you asked the letters of rec from? Can I ask you your list of activities from? So I could do a kind of back kind of thing and collect their application together. And what I discovered was that the students, for example, who are strong in science, they never really asked just the science teachers for the letters of rec. To show their full picture of themselves, like the science person, if they did anything with crew or theater, they asked Ms. Amproda, the theater person, to show that, yes, I'm a science person, but I can be very expressive and I can work in collab team things to show a larger picture. And for me, I don't know why I didn't think haha, that would make sense. But I think in the years past too, the kids who I'm going to ask this thing, only this. And so that strategy is something we work individually with the students. Of course, you want to ask the teacher who knows you best too, but hopefully you want to ask teachers as well who could attest to the different strengths and make your applications a whole and not redundant. That is very key. Again, also schedule interviews if applicable. If this private school offers interviews, the students should seize that opportunity and interview too. And practice for the interview. So these things, working on a person, more in detail, more individual, working on personal statements, strategizing, and things like that. We do offer in the summer a senior college application workshop. This year, it's not going to happen in June or July. It's going to happen in August. And the reason for that is because we find that in the years past, as more and more students are going towards a meaningful summer experience of interning or working or whatnot, they just have started to not participate in the summer workshops. And we would ask them, why? Why aren't you doing it? They're like, well, we're going after this program. It just doesn't fit in my schedule. But it seems like in August they do have the time, which is most important. But number 2, they also are very, very focused to work at. after June and junior year, they're not ready to start college like they're writing their statements in June and July. They're just not ready. And they have these great, meaningful experiences in the summertime that helps them kind of complete what they want to do. And after they research or visit or whatever it is that they do, to help them figure out where they want to apply. Meaningful, it has to be meaningful to them that they can articulate, verbalize in an interview or writing or some point what it meant for them. There's still programs out there, things like you pay to get things, and frankly, as a junior, those programs, I would say try to get something where you're not paying money to participate in. I think no one does this anymore, but there used to be this thing called National Scholar League. I forgot what it was, like, and a leadership council, and you would pay like $2,000 to show that you're a leader. And a lot of our students in the past, even like a lot of academically strong students would participate in it, but it's just a money-making kind of program. But a lot of the admissions readers from all the colleges know it's a paid program. It's just another way for the schools to know that yes, you're very supportive parents, but the student is economically advanced, has advantages to take this kind of programs. So like Cosmos and like Johns Hopkins, like they're great programs to do. But as a junior, I feel like try to get something where you can volunteer. You initiate something at this point. You should try to do it instead of just paying for a program to participate in. Okay, I strongly recommend that. That's just my view with money. You'll spend a lot of money anyways later. So, yeah. And then September. I'll go to students again and tell them how to, with Naviance, we do everything online now. 2 years ago when I did it, we tried it, some of it, glitches or not, and Mr. Gutierrez, everything was online. There are some schools that still a little bit of like, I think more schools have gone online now, so there was a little bit of computer programs with the glitches with that, but all in all, so much fast, so much more efficient with the computer program. So students also have to know how to use it too. If they're applying online through any of the private schools, then they do have to open up a common app, and I'll talk about application, and they have to waive their rights to FERPA, and we'll talk more about that with the students. Right now, those things mean nothing. It's just like it's just paperwork kind of thing. It's important in September that they fill out the release form to do the Cal Grant GPA verification. That is handled by Mary in our school. It's important that the students, because it could be money. It could be money for the students. In September, the National Merit students are then invited to apply. That is finished up in early, and in early October, same time, simultaneously, early application. Our school supports those who decide to do early college applications. We'll talk about. Then just from mid-October to mid-January, it's just crazy busy time with just applying to school, students are working on applications. At our end, we're just helping with the secondary school report. The secondary school report, we send a school profile, which talks about who we are as students, how your students were selected out of the district, and your students general, like the AP scores of the school, the SAT average scores, the student GPA, kind of general things, how many AP courses are offered, how many are not. It just explains the school picture. It also included that secondary school report is, of course, the official transcript. There's a letter from the counselor. There's also the form that we need to fill out for the individual school. And so that's what it means by the secondary school report. And the letters of recommendation are from the teachers, okay?